Okay, let's unpack this then. We've got these sources, right? A video description and a summary,
Yeah.
and therefore an English learning resource. Specifically, it's all about describing, your daily routine.
Mm-hmm. Which is such a core thing, isn't it, for anyone learning a language? Being
Absolutely.
able to just talk about your day, I mean, that's something you're going to need, like, immediately.
Right, every single day. So for this deep dive, what we really want to figure out is what makes this specific approach work so well, especially for beginners.
Yeah, what's the secret sauce there?
Exactly. And maybe what we can learn from it, about tackling these really common practical topics, maybe not just for language learning.
Well, one thing that jumps out right away from the sources is this scenario they use. It's set up as a natural chat between two people, Alex and Sarah.
Alex and Sarah, right.
And they've got relatable backgrounds. He's a student. She works part-time and is learning too. It kind of grounds it, makes it feel more real than just, say, a list of verbs.
Yeah, definitely not just abstract stuff. They're actually using the language to, well, describe their day to each other.
Exactly.
And the sources say it's structured chronologically, like from waking up all the way to going to bed. Why is that sequence so important for new learners?
Well, think about it. It gives you a very clear, predictable framework. Your day has a start, a middle, and end. Everyone gets that.
True.
So when you anchor the new words, the new grammar,
Yeah.
onto that sequence you already understand, it's not just memorizing lists anymore.
Okay.
You're seeing how the language fits into a real pattern. It breaks down this potentially huge idea of my whole day
Mm-hmm.
into like manageable steps, one after
Oh.
the other.
That makes a lot of sense. It simplifies it. And the sources also point out the specific language they focus on, right? Key vocabulary.
hmm Things like wake up, have breakfast, go to work.
Yeah.
The essentials.
Go to bed.
Yeah.
Yeah. These aren't just random words. They're the high-frequency things you absolutely need for this specific conversation.
Precisely. And they pair that vocabulary with a strong focus on the simple present tense.
Ah, okay. Because that's what you use for habits, for routines.
Exactly. It's the perfect tense for it. And the resource, it seems, doesn't just explain the rule. It shows it being used like over and over in the conversation itself,
Yeah.
naturally.
So you're not just learning what the simple present is, but really how it sounds and works when you're talking about your routine. It ties the grammar directly to the task.
Yes. Practical application.
And they add in time phrases, too. In the morning at 7 a.m., those little bits you need.
Yep, all those essential components. And the teaching method described, that sounds key too. Things like slow, clear speaking in the resource,
Standard stuff, yeah.
repetition of key phrases. But what seems really effective is how they apparently work in these little vocabulary reviews during the conversation.
Oh, interesting.
So you hear the word, you hear it used, and then it's reinforced right there.
That's smart. It's kind of like spaced repetition, but baked right into the flow.
Kind of, yeah.
And it doesn't just stop with listening. The source mentions active practice, too. Learners repeating things, building sentences.
And even a challenge at the end, I think, to role-play describing your own day.
Okay, that final step. Applying it to yourself. How does that part really boost confidence?
Well, that's the crucial bit, isn't it? It bridges the gap from just understanding passively to actually producing the language actively.
Right.
The resource gives you the tools, the structure, the words, and then it prompts you, the learner, to use those tools for your own reality, your wake-up time, your breakfast.
It makes it instantly relevant.
Personal.
Exactly. And when you successfully describe something you know so well, like your own routine, that builds a huge amount of confidence. It makes you feel like, okay, I can use this language for me.
So it sounds like the real power here is in that combination. You've got the relatable chat, the simple step-by-step structure,
The really useful words and the right grammar focus.
and then that integrated practice that forces you to actually use it for yourself. Absolutely. It all works together. It's very focused, giving the learner those quick, practical wins right from the start.
So wrapping this up then, what this resource does really well is take this incredibly practical everyday topic, your routine, and it gives you a super clear, simple structure.
Yep, using specific, need-to-know words and the basic grammar, the simple present, that fits perfectly.
And by showing it in a natural conversation, breaking the day down logically and then making you practice it.
It equips learners with real skills and, importantly, confidence for a situation they'll definitely encounter.
Okay, so here's the bigger thought, maybe the really interesting takeaway. If taking something familiar like your daily routine
Yeah,
and breaking it down into simple steps, focusing on the core words, the essential grammar, helps you get confident fast in a new language.
makes sense.
How else could you use that same idea? Taking any complex skill or action, breaking it into its simplest parts, its most common components, and practicing those in sequence. Could that be a way to learn almost anything new more quickly, more effectively, get confident faster?